Get to know LSEO. With me today again is Steve Blackburn, and Steve again is crashing the wedding by bringing a +1. Welcome, Steve.
Jeff, thanks for having me again. I won't tell you who I brought this week because last week I got in trouble. That was a spoiler alert.
Well, now you can tell us. Go ahead.
Well, I have the incredibly talented, very tall, handsome Michael Ruth.
Welcome, Michael.
Hey, folks. Thank you.
So this is where we like to get to know our employees. Normally, Beyond Local is filled with industry insights, tips, tricks, all that fun stuff. But now we got to know the people who make it all happen. And we have Steve and Michael here, and we're going to get into some questions so we know all about Michael by the end of this podcast. So, Steve, do you have any questions you want to ask?
Yeah, well, I've gotten the pleasure to know Michael over the last year and a half, and I know that some of our viewers, you've been on, what, 3 times?
Yeah, this is my third year.
We're lucky to have you back.
Third time's a charm.
It's probably going to be the best one.
We'll see.
I hope so. So I know that some of our viewers have met you, but, we've got new viewers, and, people want to know more about you. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do here at LSEO and how you help our clients be successful?
Sure. So I'm primarily in content. I kind of manage all of the content we write for clients and also our own LSEO content. And under the tutelage of the great Kyle Cozy, I'm getting more into SEO and the kind of technical SEO tasks that our SEO specialists do. And I'm still learning. That's kind of a work in progress, getting better all the time. A lot of great people around me to help. So I'm like a hybrid of those two things.
Great.
It was such a great answer that there was no follow-up.
Right. There's nothing there.
Well, I thought maybe you would go a little bit further. No, you couldn't have.
No,
So
that's all right.
so great.
Yeah, fantastic. So, some people consider you the most intellectual person here at LSEO.
Who are those people?
I don't know. No names, but, that's the rumor.
I'll have to talk with them.
But, let's talk about, like how you got, what was your professional resume? What did you do before LSEO?
Well, I was always writing in different capacities. Until 3 years ago, I didn't know what digital marketing was. I wrote encyclopedias literally for like 5 years, and that went away. And then
like encyclopedias?
Yeah, like not physical ones, but for digital. But
I was thinking like World Book. Like
Yeah.
They were databases of encyclopedia like articles, so I wrote those.
Okay, you remember World
yeah.
Book though,
Mm-hmm,
in the back of the schoolroom and whatnot. Oh man.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I know too. I'm young enough.
Okay.
So
Anyway,
um,
encyclopedias.
right.
went away.
So I did that for 5 years, and then I got into digital marketing and for somewhere else, and then I ended up here, and have gotten a much better chance here to kind of grow my skills here.
All right. Where did you go to school? What did you major in?
King's College down the street, and professional writing it was.
Oh, okay. We knew somebody else we just interviewed that went to King's. Allison. Did you know her? Were you run in the same circles?
Definitely not.
No?
She's much younger than I am.
Oh.
So what drew you to writing?
Well, I must have been like 12 years old or something like that, and I kind of looked around at the things my classmates were writing and things teachers were writing, and I kind of thought, well, I think maybe this world could use someone who knows what they're doing. So I kind of
At 12.
got into the game, and the world hasn't exactly been the same since.
So do you have like a favorite author that's been an inspiration to you?
Yeah, probably.
Well, could you share?
I used to like John Steinbeck a lot. But I guess I kind of got out of it. You guys know who that is, right?
Of Mice and Men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have just much more time for reading, and he's kind of his books are dense, and so I don't even read too much fiction anymore. If you've heard of Catch-22, that author, Joseph Heller, has been one of my favorites. Very funny man, he was. I don't read a lot of fiction anymore, as I said. I'm more into like history now, but writing is just something that gives me pleasure, and it makes me feel like I'm just accomplishing something, and even, like at LSEO, helping people with the skill that I have. I enjoy it a lot.
So then to transition, I have another question for you, because I ask a lot of
That's
questions.
what we're
and talk
here
a
to
lot.
do.
Well, I guess you're right, Jeff. So when you left the Encyclopedia Company, which I still think of World Book, and Encyclopedia Britannica was the other one.
That's
I
a big
thought
one.
of. So when you left the Encyclopedia Company, right? I mean, content is a hot commodity in marketing. I mean, content marketing's big. So why LSEO? I mean, you're a smart dude, and your writing's fantastic. So I'm sure you had your pick of where you could go, but why here?
A company of this size, I like it because it gives me the opportunity to take on more, just because we need, people to do the tasks. We're not like a gigantic corporation where you've got just someone handling every little thing. I'm busy a lot, and I love that. And I like the trust that has been placed in me. People trust me to go away and do a task. And it's nice because in previous jobs, there have been downtime, and I don't like having downtime. So I'm always doing something here. It's been fun to learn in that way, and probably is the best way to learn, by just doing it and not having someone always ready to bail you out. It's nice.
Do you ever miss that downtime though? Because then you could read more Steinbeck.
No,
He doesn't read him anymore.
I don't think so.
Well, he made it sound like he doesn't like him. He's like, I used to like him. Oh, well, what did he do to you?
No, I don't miss downtime, really.
All right.
So then, what is your favorite thing about working here at LSEO?
I guess the peanut butter pretzels.
They are pretty good.
Yo, between the two of you, I can't keep them on the shelf. So.
Oh, I didn't know you were a pretzel guy,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Well, now that we're, now that everybody's vaccinated and we're back in the office and things like that, so you didn't know this because you were working from home while just the executive team was here. I'm looking at the pretzels, right? And I'm watching them go down. And I know that, I get into them from time to time. I'm not going to pretend like this is like I'm just pointing out the pretzel grabbers. Like I'm one of the Three Musketeers now, right? But I'm watching these things, and I'm like, well, I'm not doing that kind of damage to this tube of pretzels.
And I'm not in the office.
Well,
Right.
correct. Well, yes, I would normally see you if you're there, but so I knew you weren't. And then I walked into his office and I saw them. And let's just say that you've got some competition now. So you might want to because we normally get a couple of tubes, containers of them. You might want to put your initials on some before Jeff gets his paws
They
into them.
don't last long. With the coffee, they might be the fastest going item.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say it's more you than me.
I've kind of slowed down now because, now everybody's back in the office. They're not all for me, so
Well, that
trying to share.
he's on this new kick. I don't know if you saw this, but he's trying to take after you again in consuming 32 ounces of water at a time, multiple times a day. So
I am.
Jeff Kimmel wants to secretly be Michael Ruth.
Because I was just going to say, this podcast is about Michael, not about me, but you tied it in very well there.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let me we talked about what you like about LSEO. So if you had the power to change anything or let me say add anything, what would you add that we don't currently do, to make it a better either place to work or more fun?
Well, I'm not copying Allison's answer, but I'd love office pets. And it doesn't have to be the dog cat thing. I like a bird, like a turkey vulture. Or
a turkey vulture.
Yeah, or just like some betta fish, something that's a little unique that would set us apart from the office dog. Everyone has that. I've had plenty of office cats. The encyclopedia place had 5 or 6 or 7 cats, actually. Something a little different. That's what I'd add.
Where do I get a turkey vulture?
You can pick them up off the Pittston bypass.
But they're
Like they're for sale there, or you just
They're
have
not
to
for
catch
sale.
them?
No,
you have to catch them.
You have to catch them.
they're
But
wild. I'm not trying to do that. We want domesticated animals. I don't know about
Big are
vulture.
turkey vultures?
they're big. Like if you see them from the ground flying up and soaring, they look like just your average bird. To see them down on the ground, they're like this, man.
Wow.
Big.
Okay.
Because they could kill cats. They can pick them up, you know.
Well, if we're gonna have cats running around, we shouldn't have a
You know,
turkey
one
vulture.
or the other.
Okay. So what about something a little less dangerous, like a turtle?
A turtle.
I would feel so bad for a turtle to be in a case, you know, unless you want it to wander around.
Okay. I mean, would you?
What would you put the beta fish in?
Well, a big aquarium, of course, they don't know the difference. They have fish brains. But I guess
What? These turtle brains are big.
turkeys they're reptiles or amphibians? Turkeys
Reptile.
or turtles are reptiles. So I guess they don't feel emotions like people do, but they have an affinity for, you know, kind of good conditions and bad.
So if we got a turtle and we let it, let's say, like chickens now, right? There's free range chickens. What if we had a free range turtle? Would you be okay with that?
To go anywhere within the 5 floors.
Well, I don't know about the 5 floors, because if it tries to go down a step, it's probably going to fall on its shell. And I mean, steps are
Like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
Take
correct.
somebody out.
Yeah. So would you be okay with the turtle?
Yes, but you need to give it a source of water.
Would you put a leash on it?
God, no.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So pets.
Great. All right. So that's awesome. That was a good answer. What do you like to do outside of work? What are your hobbies?
Hobbies?
Yeah.
Geez. So things I do a lot of. I like to sit on chairs from time to time.
Is there a special chair, or does it matter? You like to try
There's
out
a
chairs?
recliner, there's a dining room chair, and each has its purpose, you know. I'll sit in one at one time and another chair at a different time. I like spinning vinyl records, for instance. I can do that while I work, which is fantastic. It really helps productivity.
Or sit in his chair.
Right.
Sit in the chair and spin vinyl, something I do. I'll combine activities. So, most of my hobbies are music-based. I listen to a lot of music, whether it's digitally or on vinyl. That's pretty much what I do at home.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about getting an Adirondack chair?
No.
Fair enough. What is an Adirondack
It's
chair? Is that those wooden ones?
The back kind of goes back and you
Okay,
kind of like
gotcha.
lounge.
That's what I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah, I thought maybe, you could sit out with pants.
That's a good question. She brought up pants for free. Anyway, we're going to talk about pants later.
Excuse me.
Do you like to sit indoors or outdoors?
So like Steve, I don't tan, so I probably will not be found sitting outdoors often.
Okay.
Indoors guy.
All right. Fair enough.
Well, I still like to go outdoors, though.
I like to be outdoors also, but I
Just
wouldn't.
make sure there's some shit.
No, I wouldn't sit directly in the sun.
No. All right, so superhero movies are always something that people enjoy. So I like to ask this question. If you could give yourself one superpower, what would it be?
I would like to be able to change the color of my eyes, like at will.
So what would you change them to right now?
So like green. I've always wanted green eyes. I have blue eyes. I'd have them be green for this, and maybe
Right now.
maybe brown later.
So like when you're walking around and it's dark out at night, would you change them like yellow?
Change them to kind of suit your environment for sure. Like if it's a sunny day, have them be brown, because maybe I don't need sunglasses, you know.
What were those glasses called that did that? They used to
I don't know.
tint when you
Oh,
went outdoors.
two-tone. That's I don't know.
something.
Transition lenses.
There you
There
go.
you go. All right. That was okay. So that's your superpower, which is a cool one, an original one.
Original is right.
Yes. You know what? What kind of skill do you wish you had?
I would love to speak multiple languages.
Really?
Particularly like the hard ones, like the hard ones to learn, like Arabic or, you know, the variations of Chinese, Japanese, the ones that would be hard for like a Westerner to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Those for sure.
Really?
They're-
Have you done anything to try that?
No. I took 4 years of Latin, two in elementary school and 2 in high school. It's so difficult for me, and I think that, if you were learning it for a job, if it's a necessity to learn it, you'll put the time in. But if there's no kind of motivation for me to do it, I'm probably not going to do it. It's like a years-long undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
If I could just master the language in an instant, yes, I would do that.
That's cool.
All
Awesome.
right. So a little bit more of a couple of fun questions here. I call this section your favorite. Okay, so we're going to ask you a handful of things. So who's your favorite band or musician?
Well, it is Bob Dylan, and we talked about that last time. I think I'd love to use this opportunity, though, to shout out different artists that I like. So I'm really into the blues. You might know this. I don't know if Jeff knows. There's a lot of different subsets of blues music. So there's a type of blues called hill country blues from like northern Mississippi. It's like really like rhythmic. They have like a groove to it, whether you're playing acoustic or electric. There's a guy who was named Junior Kimbrough. He played electric blues, and it was really kind of like percussion heavy, kind of grungy. It was like mostly in the 90s, so kind of grunge influenced, really like muddy, dirty stuff. This is not like 50s, like clean blues. I listen to that stuff a lot. It's really great for working, for just like driving. It's awesome.
Do you play it on Alexa upstairs at all?
I haven't played that. I'm kind of afraid to expose the office to my
Okay.
deep musical interests. They would not like it.
Everybody's echo just said, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said when I said that.
So I know that you don't watch a lot of TV just because I know you, but do you have a favorite movie?
I think you're selling yourself short with that question. I think there are more interesting questions about movies.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the one that I had. So, do you have a favorite movie? Let's go back to.
I guess like Taxi Driver is one of my favorites.
Okay, and what draws you to that? What do you like about it?
So that's a Robert De Niro movie, and it's like a 2-hour-long like character study. So he's like this lonely taxi driver. He's a little like, he's paranoid. He's got like fears, and he's kind of like neurotic. And he kind of descends into this, like into his own mind. He drives nights, and he kind of just sees the underside of the city. He drives in New York, and it's a really like kind of a slow burn movie. And then at the end, I won't give it away, but it's pretty incredible. That's a Martin Scorsese movie. It's good.
So, imagine this. If we go back a couple of questions, if you have this skill that you could understand multiple languages, that'd come in handy if you were a taxi driver.
Well, especially in a multicultural city like New York, for sure.
It's good insight, Steve.
So we know that you're a writer. We know that you used to read fiction, not so much anymore. But what's your favorite book you read?
The Book of Genesis.
What about your favorite book that you have recently read in the last, say, 12 to 18 months?
Well, the last book that I finished reading, because I'm currently reading something now, it was a book called The Vatican Prophecies. Mm-hmm. So this is about how the Vatican investigates supernatural events in the modern era, like miracles and apparitions and things like that, how they canonize saints. Really interesting to see how an organization of that size works and kind of works through stuff like that. It's a laborious process, actually.
Did you ever finish Obama's book?
I'm in the middle of it right now.
Okay. So that's
the book he was reading.
That's the current book. Great reading.
Spoiler alert. So we'll have to, if there is a part 2, maybe we could get on
we'll
there
come back.
and talk about how you enjoyed that one.
So before we get into the last question, I'll apologize because I thought there was going to be a question here that's going to lead to a pants conversation. And there's not a question here, so I think we should bring that up now.
Well, I don't disagree. So, Michael, we know that you're an animal lover, especially of the feline type.
Hmm.
So, some of our viewers know that you have a cat at home. But again, this is a big production, and we have new viewers coming in every week and new members of our team as well.
Sure.
So we'd like to elaborate. Well, we'd like you to elaborate a little bit about your, your furry friend at home.
So she's a tabby cat. Now tabby is not a type of cat. It just refers to the coat. It's like you can be an orange tabby or a gray tabby, but they always have the M on the forehead.
Okay.
That's how you know that they're a tabby. So her name is Pants. Her real name is Sylvie. Sylvie was the name that she had. Now, I will call back once more the encyclopedia place. This was one of the cats at that encyclopedia place. And, these cats are kind of, the owner took them in, but eventually would want to kind of find them good homes. I eventually got Pants, so she's ours now. And she's 5, and she's, sort of like a child in the sense that, she's whiny, she's kind of irritating, does things for attention. But a very sweet personality, eats a lot of food, really just like sucks us dry with the budget, with the fancy feast budget. But she's great, and we love her.
You're lucky she doesn't go after your peanut butter pretzels.
Oh, we're lucky about that.
So can you tell me the story and our viewers? Why did you change the name from Sylvia to Pants?
Yeah, so Sylvie's great, and we call her that, I guess, when she's in trouble. But Pants was like the start of like the pet name for the pet thing. You know how you've got different names for like your dog or your cat, just like cute names. So Pants, because we started calling her Sylvie Pants, and then we broke those names apart. So she's got those 2 names, but it has kept on going. There are multiple others. I won't tell you all the others, but Pants is the most commonly
Definitely
used.
my next question. Definitely was my next question.
I anticipated it.
So, what's your favorite thing to do with Pants?
I love when if I'm sitting, like minding my own business or whatever, and she'll just approach you, like maybe meow once, and she crawls up on my chest and kind of sits there and purrs. That's a great feeling. Makes you feel like you're protecting her and she loves you. It's nice.
Perfect.
Great. All right. So normally on Beyond Local, as I mentioned, we talk about the tips, the tricks, the industry insights, all the stuff that keeps the viewers coming back. So Michael, why don't you give us something that you've learned over your years here about digital marketing that maybe our viewers don't know, a little tip or something along those lines?
Yeah. So in content, this is something that I've learned from Kyle and from Steve while working too. When you're writing content for websites, don't make it like a school paper, like where it's so formal that it reads kind of like research. Write like you talk, because one, it's a better user experience for people to read that rather than reading like a dissertation. And Google now is so smart that it knows when you're writing in a way that people like and when you're writing in kind of like a stiff kind of way. So write like you speak, and your rankings will be much better for your content.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome insight.
Yeah. I'm sure that our viewers are glad to hear that little tidbit here. And I know that they wanted to learn some more about Michael Ruth.
All right. Well, any more questions for Michael before we close it out?
I think that I've gotten everything answered that I want to know. Besides, like I said in our last rendition of this program, we may come back for a round 2. So I don't want to spoil things. I already got yelled at by you for that once.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So there you have it. There's Michael Ruth, our content creator and jack of all trades. He's involved in a lot here, so we really enjoy him being here. This is our Get to Know LSEO podcast. Hopefully you found it interesting. If you have questions for Michael, email them in, call them in. We're going to take callers, but we won't again. And maybe round 2 we'll get those questions answered. So, in the digital world and digital marketing, as they say, content is king. Well, you just met LSEO's king of content. Thanks for tuning in.